Hello everybody and welcome to the first year's guide to CS Writer's Commentary. My name is Nugent, just graduated class of 2020, CS specialist. Was the host of Room 2250 last season during season 3, and now I'm here to do my favorite director's commentary of the first year guide to CS. So, this guide was actually first created back in 2018. So, it was myself, Clara, a few others got together to sort of write up a guide on first year CS, how people were, what they learned, what things people need to know, sort of to help ease that anxiety of coming in as a first year student. Then, now, after that, a lot of changes have happened and the huge success of the original guide, I thought it was a good idea to just go back, go through a full edit, bring up to date new content with program changes, which basically made the old guide almost irrelevant. And maybe spruce it a little up, have a few GIFs linked to the podcast episodes that I did throughout the last season. So I thought, hey, okay, along with the guide, provide an audio version that people can listen to, and maybe there's a video version. I'm actually recording this as a video, so we'll see. Maybe I'll release the video version as well. So first to start off, it's like, as far as this guide, I'd like to believe it's accurate. It's not an official guide. It's written solely from the perspective of students like myself, and we include sources to official documentation. So if you're making any plans based on what you're reading here, make sure you research carefully and consult with the undergrad office or your registrar if you need help to confirm your understanding. This is also technically a work in progress. Myself and others will be adding and editing content throughout the summer as new information comes to light, especially with COVID-19. And throughout this audio video version, I'll be sort of explaining the story behind this guy, personal anecdotes from my time in CS, and I hopefully will only be recording this once. So when you're done listening, there's a feedback form on the guide itself. Please fill it out. It gives me some valuable feedback and will give future writers and content a better feel on what it should be. So I hope you gain something, whether it's information, inspiration, or if you see anything wrong, raise an issue. This is hosted on GitHub, so change it, make a pull request. It's an open source document at the end of the day. So thank you for listening. I wish you the very best. Let's get to it. So of course the original 2018 version was myself and Clara, then first year, and then the CSSU team at the time for reviewing. So now it's sort of changed. Now it's just myself that's re-edited this guide. A lot of the content is sourced from that original version, so a big thank you, of course, to Clara as well, that she's done a lot of work on editing that guide, the original version as well. And we've kept a lot of the content where it makes sense. So here comes up the first gift that we have. For people that don't know, this is Greg Miller. He's from Kind of Funny Games. Well, Kind of Funny the company. So he's former IGN, and then he started his own company doing video game shows, pop culture, a lot of stuff with himself, Nick Scarpino, Tim Geddes, Blessing Adeoye Jr. this year, Andy Cortez, and a bunch of others. And these guys really helped me personally throughout my 4 years of university. Every morning throughout my commute, it's like listening to their content, coming back was also good as well. Really, they gave me great laughs, and all these gifts are actually from one of the community members, Corey Cudney, who does really great gifts a lot. And this is one of the first of many gifts that will be appearing here. But these guys really help me, and even Greg's podcasting style influenced a lot of what I've done in terms of my podcasting as well. So through Room 2250, sort of the styling you'll see from Kind of Funny Games Daily, which I'm a huge fan of. So that's a story behind. So with that, CSU, I'd like to congratulate everyone who's received an offer of admission to CS, or you're considering we'll get an acceptance. That was actually added because we found out that people were using this guide, the original version, as a way to figure out what the program was like to choose whether they were going to even apply to CS. Which, hey, we welcome those people. This is a guide for anyone and everyone. And remember, this is for technically the St. George campus. I'm pretty sure that makes it clear. I should maybe add it somewhere, but it's written there. But the St. George campus, if you're looking for information on the Mississauga campus or in Scarborough, if you go to their department web pages, you should be able to find information. Maybe not a nice guide like this, but something similar. So this is a collection of basically FAQs. We first started as FAQs, and then now it's more of a, oh, we're going to talk about everything that everyone in first year should understand and should know. This is now part of a multifaceted project to curate resources for the entire CS community. And some of those will be linked in this guide, added on as we make them. One of those is the CSSU job resources, which is hosted on the same GitHub repo. Well, not on the same GitHub repo, same GitHub organization is another repo there. So the thing is, starting in, we're right here, it's like, university can be exciting, but it's also daunting, especially in your first year. You might feel a lot of excitement, but also it's okay to be scared, especially this year with the pandemic affecting our lives mentally, physically. It's okay to feel scared, but university can be a great experience. It can be exciting. It can be eye-opening. It can be amazing, but it can also be stressful. It can also be daunting and scary. So we hope that after you read this guide, you'll get some tips on how to be successful in your first year here, and maybe get some laughs along the way. Of course, if there's anything you want to add or in the guide, send the CSSU an email, make a pull request on the GitHub repo, put an issue in the GitHub repo. I'll be looking at that repo, basically doing maintenance work, so we'll see. So strapping this is pretty long. Feel free to read it in chunks, listen to this in chunks, or binge it if that's your style. I hope this audio recording is a half hour, but I think this is going to go for maybe an hour, hour and a half, so let's see how this goes. So there was supposed to be another gift that's here from Greg Mellon. The reason this gift did not make it is because the F word is on this cup of coffee. It was like, pour a cup of coffee, pack a lunch, you're going to be here a while. But sadly, that coffee had an F word, and I thought, okay, let's stay PG. Even though hopefully everyone that's applying is, most of them should be over the age of 18. Actually, wait, no, that's a bad assumption to make. There are people that, there's actually, I remember reading about a student who's graduated from UofT at the age of 16 or 18. One of the youngest students to graduate. So, yeah, okay, good choice. They may be less than 13. So, yes, so since this guide is posted on the CSSU site, as well as them putting in a lot of work to support the guide making, we thought, of course, we have to talk about them first. But the CSSU is an important institution, I guess, within an institution. For CSSU, and I have spent a lot of time at the CSSU. I know their executives. I've been in the office more times than I can count. That's almost a second home, a third home if you count Bayhan as a second home. But the CSSU, or Computer Science Student Union, represents all CS students who are taking a course or part of the program, so the major, minor, or specialist at St. George. That's a lot of students. It's about 4K, 4,000 students. 1,000 of them are around first years. 1,500 actually. It's a little bit. It's a bit more. 1,000 to 1,500 students, and then 500 in the program, give or take 500 to 600. They offer a variety of services, sell drinks, snacks, ice cream sandwiches. So the big point, the gift for the ice cream sandwich has to be point that ice cream sandwiches are an important part. They are the only place that I've seen that has ice cream sandwiches available anytime, even in dead winter. And it's the most popular selling item there. 50 cents for an ice cream sandwich. Great rate. Problem is, stock doesn't really keep up that much because it's actually really hard to get ice cream sandwiches. Why? Because Costco does not deliver them. So people actually have to go drive to a local no frills, get it, and then come back. So their office is in BA 2250. So if you go to Bayhan Center through the front doors, up the stairs, and take a left, It's at the end of the hallway. So 40 St. George Street, second floor, and you can meet them when their office eventually reopens. As of writing, we don't really know if the office will be open for students to come in, but we hope one day that it will happen. So the CSSU holds a lot of events such as game nights, pancake breakfasts, town halls, academic events such as tea times with profs, where students have the opportunity to socialize with everyone over pancakes, video games, and stuff that they're interested in. And speaking of video games, we have a lot. There's a lot of video games and consoles in the office, from GameCube for Smash to the Wii U for Smash and Switch for Smash. Yes, people really like Smash. And if you haven't played Super Smash Bros. Before, don't worry about it. It's much easier to play than Mortal Kombat. It's a very easy fighting game to get started doing it. It does get very technical in parts, but you know what? You can always play with your casual style, and people are really, really friendly about letting you just come in and join a match, quick match. There's also an Xbox One and PlayStation 3. Believe me, I don't know why we didn't upgrade to a PlayStation 4, but there are new consoles coming out at the end of the year. So Microsoft, Sony, if you want to give us an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, we will take it. They'll take it. For you to play with your friends or make new ones, a lot of people, the second most popular game, I guess, after Smash and Mario Kart is COD. People play COD, so on the 360. So yeah, COD was never really big my thing. So feel free to drop by, say hello, introduce yourself. The space is a bit small, but the people there, you can always just walk in, say hi, introduce yourself, and possibly make some friends, meet someone you didn't know before, maybe even a lifelong friend. Or worst case, you can come and microwave your food. There's a microwave. A lot of people come just for the microwave. And you can now sign up for their email newsletter that contains information on upcoming events with a link in the guide. And of course, the Smash Bros. Ultimate introductory gift. That is a moment. That's actually, I watched that reveal live in CSSU. We watched Nintendo's E3 presentation back when they announced Smash Ultimate, and oh man, that was hype. Hype. So they also support CS Sprout, which happened at the beginning of the year, for students to get to know each other and be introduced to some great information. We ran it successfully for the past 2, 3 years, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again this year. But stay tuned for more details later this summer on how we're reworking it for 2020 based on public health measures. So, common terms you should know. Acorn, your one-stop shop for everything you need to do officially. Your rolling courses, accessing your final grades, your tuition bills, deferring your tuition, finding out when you're getting your scholarship money, anything. Acorn is your go-to site. It also contains links to everywhere else, so almost everywhere else. All the main university sites. Quarkus is one of them. Pro tip for Acorn, you can save courses to your enrollment cart, where you can just quickly push buttons to quickly enroll when you're doing course enrollment. That works if, of course, you're fast enough and courses don't fill up, but it's easier than the old system where you had to memorize everything in a paper and start typing them in, like you're entering in like Windows 97. So Quarkus, and some people will call it Portal, which is actually the system that Quarkus replaced in 2018. And yeah, I'm still naming it the most unpronounceable name on campus. It is. So Quarkus is an LMS, learning management system. Most courses use it to provide their lecture slides, assignments, important dates, course updates. Previously it was called Blackboard, and some people will still call it that. You can submit your assignments, access your term marks. CS courses tend to use their own sites in conjunction with Marcus, but most courses are pretty much going to use Quarkus. Though some CS courses will still use it for maybe video hosting or stuff like that. So if you use D12 or Blackboard in high school, then you'll find that Quarkus is very similar to it. Marcus is also there. where you'll be submitting mock and getting feedback and marks basically for most of, if not all, CS courses. Make sure you can log to the site as soon as it's available, because in order to avoid hassles that will undoubtedly arise if you can't log in on the day your assignments are due. You do not want to be the person who's like, the day of the assignments due, figure out that they can't log into Marcus for some stupid error. Please don't be that person. It's terrible. Pro tip, always submit your assignments early, since the system tends to get overloaded and it's known to be slow or crash in the last minutes before a deadline. It's your personal responsibility to submit early. And keep in mind, multiple submissions are allowed for most courses. I don't think I've ever seen a course that's been like, oh, your only submission, that's your only submission. You can't resubmit before the deadline. So that means only your final submission will be graded. Even if you submit various drafts of your work prior to the deadline, this allows you to edit and submit your works as many times as you see fit until the deadline. There's also the Piazza, which many courses use the course forum, where you can post questions, get answers from classmates or profs. Some courses, however, don't use Piazza. Things like go for Discourse or the Quarkus discussion boards. Basically, these boards are really good for finding answers to frequently sought out clarifications, especially on assignments, where basically a lot of clarifications will happen and will save you a lot of work if you read through Piazza. So, also, edit the email settings when you log in for the first time. For me personally, I don't want to get an email every time a new question is there. I'd be like, I want to be personal enough to like, I will look at it twice or 3 times a day and just manage through the notifications and read unknowns there. I do not want an email and clogging my inbox. But some people like that, so edit the settings to how you see fit. And search your question before posting on the Piazza. It's very likely that one of your classmates have already asked that question earlier, and profs really don't want to answer the same question 5 million times. They really don't. So the teaching labs. Basically, it's the whole CS department's infrastructure, including the actual physical labs in Mayhem. Whether you're interacting with the department via Marcus, SSH for remote lab connections, and PCRS. At the beginning of the year, you'll get an email asking to set up your teaching labs account. It's very important. 1, you don't actually lose the email. 2, don't forget the password. Once again, don't forget your passwords, but also make sure that you're using strong passwords. Great. Information services will be very happy with me for putting out the word that you must have great passwords. Good passwords. Long and known passwords. This is your most used login that you'll need at UofT after, of course, you use your ID with Acorn. Also know that as a CS student, you can get access to the labs and Bayhand 24/7 with your T card. Now, with the pandemic, this may change. But after this pandemic, or hopefully soon, you will still have 24/7 access to Bayhand with your T card. For more information on the labs, visit their site. This contains room numbers and the status and uptime pages for UofT, Teach servers, and Marcus. So like this gives the Marcus status, the actual teaching lab service, showing that, hey, maybe there's downtime coming soon, hopefully. Checking if the teaching lab website is down or it's a specific problem. The UofT branded speed test. I never knew this actually existed or why this would exist, but sure. And the UofT Information Technology Service status, giving full tech status and uptimes for the mail service, Quarkus, Acorn, etc. So the Help Center. This is one of the best places you can get official help in first and second year courses. It's located in Bayhan, has TAs and professors ready to help you when you have questions. For full schedule, when it's open, or who's there, there's a link in the guide. And for upper year courses, normally you would just get help directly from the course instructors or teaching assistants. They don't really use the Help Center. It's more for just first and second year courses. Getting help is really important. Make full use of these hours. Especially don't go during the last few days of an assignment, because then the Help Center line normally goes out the roof, and I've seen it jam. Like literally there's a line to get in, and the room is already full. Now note, for this year it's unknown how the will be ran, so look for updates from your profs on whether the help center will still run this year or virtually. And of course, for your official program questions, concerns, on the fourth floor, Bayhand, you can visit the undergrad office for CS. You can ask some questions ranging from program mission, financial situations, anything to do with the program at all. And they're always willing to help out. If you need any advice, the office is a great place to get official answers to all or if not most of your questions. And if they can't answer it, they'll normally tell you where you can figure out where you can get an answer from. Oh boy. So the first rule of CS is to be lazy when coding. And don't remake the wheel. Or the print statement, to be honest. Since Faculty of Arts and Science is already videotaped, it has subtitled videos on how course enrollment works and great tips for university, I'm just linking them in the guide itself. They were made about 2 years ago, but the advice still holds. And these do contain some of the best CS peers that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing personally. They have some really great advice there. 2020's John H. Moss Scholar, 4th CSSU General Council member, TA, Frosh organizer, multiple award winner. Lana is in this, former CS Vice President, CSSU Vice President, UofT Hacks President, and TA Calvin, and the 2017 Canadian Undergrad CS Conference Co-Chair, and TA Felipe. So, lots of tips there. And one extra tip there from Reddit is that you can access course evaluations submitted by past students for courses on Quarkus. Just log in, select course evaluations, and you can't see the specific comments for privacy reasons, but you'll see the numerical stats on how students felt about these courses. Great way to learn about certain electives, one way or another, and profs, if they're teach the course before. And of course, for more important videos with tips, information about the university course enrollment, maybe there'll be a new series this year. Check out the Artside YouTube channel. And I have an episode on Room 2250 talking with Luana about her achievements and advice for first years and upper years as well on the Room 2250 episode. So now, if you're in stream, there's a few notes about course enrollment. So first of all, there's the department site for the new first year experience, talks about new courses, and the whole thingamajig. Please read it. For students in stream, technically this is the first time a course like this has been offered in the fall semester, so CSC 110Y1. It is a one semester course. You will start in September, you will finish it in December with an exam. But it is a full course credit. Normally, you have a half credit course. So this means CSC 110 is the equivalent of 2 half-year courses. Double the amount of lecture time, double the amount of lab time, and you earn a full credit on completion of this course. CSC 111, of course, is your typical normal half-year semester course that you take in the winter. This means you will have to look at your course load accordingly. You cannot just treat CSC 110 as a regular course. If you're following the typical 5 credit per year full-time semester course load, you split that normally as 2.5 credits per term. That is 5 half-year courses per term. Full year courses such as Math 137, 157 take up a half credit per term, making the full credit over the year. CSC 110 takes 2 of those 5 spots, and then 137 taking another, you have 2 elective spaces. In the winter term, you get 3. And then CSC 111 plus Math 137, 157, part 2, whatever. There's a sample timetable in the guide from the site to give you a visual look at it. And of course, a side note on CS courses, there's a lot of areas in CS. Courses that range from theory to networking to graphics, and anything and everything in the middle. Courseography is an open source project started by Professor David Liu, which you may have for your first year courses, that charts out all the CS courses in the program areas with their prerequisites. You can look at what upper courses interest you, take their necessary prereqs, see where the prereqs are. And I note that these course offerings are as of last year and do not reflect the new course for the 22 school year as a publisher. As always, the calendar is your most updated and official information on prereqs and stuff. So you can see here, it's like, you can pick the courses you're taking, and then it tells you, hey, okay, now you can take these courses. And if you're into systems or software engineering, from there you can take this course. You need another course from the theory section. Take that and that and that. And you can see where all the courses sort of line up in. Now, there are focuses. These are available for students in the specialist and for designation, basically. So you basically get a note on your transcript saying, specialist in computer science, focusing in blah, 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 artificial intelligence, let's say. Major students normally use this as a guide to see what areas exist and the relevant courses that relate to certain areas that may interest you. Of course, focuses are not mandatory. They can be added at any time as long as you're in the specialist and you've taken the required courses. So use them to sort of figure out, hey, okay, what areas exist. But of course, you don't have to fully complete those requirements or pick and choose your way through it. Also, breadth courses. So on top of your degree requirements of completing 20 credits, specialist, 2 major minors, you must complete breadth requirements within those 20 credits. They can be completed in one of two ways: a credit in each of the four out of 5 categories, or a credit in each of the in 3 categories and half credit in the other 2. There are 5 categories: creative and culture, thought, belief and behavior, society, living things, and physical mathematical universe. Good news. Category 5 is taking care of your first year CS courses and math courses. The other categories encourage you to explore other fields and areas of interest. First year is a great time to explore other fields or other interests that you may have, and it's especially useful due to first year seminars. They're small group courses that focus on specific topics and interests. You can find a full list in the calendar, but here's some of the courses that jumped out to me personally. No, I didn't take any of these. Don't take as an endorsement. But find something that fits your interest. And you'll find out you'll learn a lot about me from what I picked from these. Pop culture today, issues and perspectives, ray guns to lightsabers, sci-fi and contemporary culture, puzzle discovery and human imagination. This is actually a pick from Lana. She took this course back in first year and she really liked it, so I'm putting it on there. How to study video games. God, I just watched it and kind of funny that I can possibly do this. Maybe, hopefully. I can study video games. I play them. I know how they're made. Digital Tech and Society, and CS's version, What, Who, How, Privacy in the Age Data Collection. Who knows? Taking a course outside your field may make you find something interesting for further study, or minor, or another major. Or maybe even swap entirely to something else. Who knows? So course tips. This is where things get interesting. So originally with the guide, it's like we had the whole post, non-post, and then everything got swapped around. So this needed heavy rework. So this is the first year with the new stream program. With it, 2 new courses: CSU 110, CSU 111. These are meant to replace 108, 148, 165 for stream students, combining all 3 courses to allow for students to be together as a cohort through first year, but to also combine the theory and the practice more tightly than was previously available with the 3-course split. This is because 108 and 148 people take for other programs as well, or just to get programming experience. They may not take the theory course, but with special stream versions of these courses, you can integrate the theory and the practical more closely together. How that actually happens, I don't know. But of course, these are still meant to cover the same topics, and as of writing, they're still using Python. And for more information on new courses, visit department site again. If you were not admitted to the CS stream, whether you're mathematics, physics, sciences, life science, humanities, etc., you have options. You cannot take 110 and 111. You have to take 148 and 165 and a math, whether 135, 136, 137, or 157. So in that case, you might be asking, okay, well, do I need to do 108? If you're new to programming, take it. It gives you the required prep for 148. If you're experienced, talk with someone at the undergrad office, see if you benefit from skipping it. If you do end up progressing to just do 148, there are ramp-up sessions to brush up on the contents of 108. And I've linked to a class final from 108, or look at ramp-up slides online. I don't know if they still are available online, but we'll see if we can find it. To get an overview of CSSU 108. If you feel like you don't understand it completely, just take 108. It's a great course. It's made from the beginning, from the ground up. It's not about saving a half credit. It's learning the material. Both courses are in Python, so even if you're familiar with like programming languages like Java, C, or something like that, you might want to take CSSU 108 just to get familiar with Python. Consider your options well. Note that even if you take CSSU 148 and then decide you're not ready for it after taking a few classes, you can drop down to 108 if spaces are still available in the course. You can also look at the department page for more info about how to choose your first year courses. This does not mention the new in-stream version, so refer to the above section for more information on the in-stream site. So finally we get to my next skill, which is again Greg Miller. I think this is from Rooster Teeth thing. It's really popular if you just search like random math guys. People like him. I don't know why. So anyway, this is a CS guy. Why am I talking about math? Well, math and CS go hand in hand. 165 theory courses, very mathematical approach. In theory, we're very much like our math fundamentals in theory. The reason you will have to pick a calc course in your first year, and your options are semi-highly varied. So the math department offers 135, 136, 137, and 157. Any of these will satisfy program requirements if you're entering from out of stream. But if you are in stream, you must do 137 or 157. And they are more theoretically heavy and mandatory. Or if you want to do data science specialist, you must take 137 and or 157. They're great proof material prep. So that's possibly why it's mandatory. But if you're considering a math specialist, you should take 157, since the math specialist only accepts 157. Otherwise, math 137 will prepare you for the level improvement to 165 compared to math 135, 136, which do not cover proofs. 137 is also the calc course that's recommended by the CS department and is mandatory unless you're taking 157 for in-stream. 135, 136 are more computational heavy, which do not help you with proof practice, but they fulfill the program requirements for out-of-stream nonetheless. Well, I'm talking about the math specialist. If you're interested in taking a math major or math specialist, you must take linear algebra in your first year, which is math 223 or 240, math 224 or 247. For everyone else, it's not mandatory to do linear algebra in your first year, but you must take at least math 223 as part of CS program requirements. Most normally do in their second year. Some people take it in their first year. It's personal preference. But some CS third year and fourth year work courses do require it. So if you want to check out the math department section in the calendar for full details on their requirements. Do your due diligence, and remember, if you take the more advanced course with math, you normally can try it out for a longer period and drop down to the less dense math course in the first 2 weeks or more with no penalty. The same does not apply going back up in difficulty. If you have any concerns, please contact them in the department. They've also provided some great prep work for sure calculus, so if you're struggling from calc after online learning, the math department has you sort of covered. Now first, Jim Carrey GIF. I don't know what movie this is from. Could be? No, not The Mask. I don't think it's The Mask. I'll find that some other day. But it's a really popular GIF. Anyway, how should we take notes? Nobody really has a definitive question. Some people prefer writing with pen and paper. It does benefit you in math and theory courses with a lot of formulas and notations jot down. Some people are really good with LaTeX, which is the mathematical typing script, which if you take a little bit to learn, it's a good thing to learn. LaTeX is actually a very good thing to learn. And if you're comfortable with it, it makes writing out math and technical notation very easy. So people swear by the fact that writing by hand is better, and some people like typing everything out or writing with their computer. For other courses, coding along with the prof is sometimes a good idea to see the lessons in action. Those courses normally have slides that you can read up afterwards to catch up. Whatever style fits is the one that you should adopt. Some people take the laptops down, put it away, and just listen, absorb everything, and then afterwards do something else. So, what type of laptop or computer do you need? Before the question, before the pandemic, technically we didn't. There's no definitive answer. Technically, you don't need one since you used to have 24 access to the Bayhan Labs and write most of your assignments there. But since COVID-19 is resulting in classes being online or limited in-person sessions, for the most part, you'll need access to a computer. It's recommended you get a laptop since you probably don't want to be stuck in the labs all the time or your room, and you can use them when you get back on campus. You don't need the most advanced system in the market. You should get something that fits your needs and budget. Universities provide a list of minimum recommended spends for doing remote learning here, which includes having a webcam available. Whether you'll need it, that's a separate issue, but you should have one. You may need it. If you're attending classes from outside Canada, the site also provides important information about the VPN if you need access to it. And when I was actually looking at these tech requirements, I was like, huh, okay, this is pretty okay for if you're getting a Windows machine, Windows 10, Firefox or Google Chrome. And then this is where it gets really crazy. You need at least an i5 Intel Core. That's very high specs for minimum tech specs. That's pretty high. 4 gigs of RAM, that's semi decent. So no Chromebooks. Chromebooks will not fit this board unless you're getting a really high end Chromebook, but I suggest not. 5 gigs of available space. At least a screen resolution of at least 720p. I'm pretty sure that's around 720p. And then Ethernet, Wi-Fi, USB ports, and you'll need a speaker, microphone, headphones, necessary camera, scanner, webcam. They have recommended internet speeds, tethering data plans. You don't need data plan. Now, they should say Linux is technically not supported. You, if you're like, oh, but I love Linux. I love Linux with all down my heart. I feel you. But even if you have Linux, please sideload Windows as well. Do not remove the Windows in case you will need it for a specific application. For most stuff, you should be able to use Linux and you'll be fine. But make sure that you still have Windows available if necessary. And you do get a bunch of free software and benefits from UofT, like 6 months Amazon Prime, cheap Prime afterwards, free movie streaming in standard definition via Criterion or Odyssey of films from the Media Commons, the libraries, which have a lot of recent films, a ridiculous amount of recent films like Onward and stuff like that. Free Microsoft Office that you get as being part of UofT students, so please don't buy Microsoft Office. And Windows 10 Education, aka Windows 10 Pro for students, which you can register there for access. And you can also upgrade your current stuff as well. So online learning. We added a new section that is brand new. There's a new reality for the pandemic. You may decide or forced to be taking courses online. And maybe for a semester or for the whole year, maybe beyond. And that's a significant change, and people need to talk about it. Online learning may be new for a lot of you. Maybe you've had a bit of experience earlier this year, but here are some tips and tricks to help manage online learning. Number one, finding a workspace that works for you. Make sure that you have a comfortable space, away from distractions, loud noises, and that's comfortable. Having a routine and constant space that your safe is will help to focus and concentrate. Along with having all your school stuff in one place, you don't need to go running one room to another room to pick up something. Have all your stuff available in one place and like a table. Maybe preferably not in front of the TV unless you like using your TV as a monitor. If you are, well, I'm not gonna say anything. Plan out your time. Make sure you have a schedule. Keep to it. Some of your courses may be synchronized and force you to attend at certain times. Use it to your advantage. Start attending classes like you're actually going to attend in person. Others may have their materials on as VODs, and these courses are the one we make sure you're not falling behind on. Set specific times that you'll work on for each course. Even if your course is going to be online and they don't have a set time, put set times in your schedule that you'll say, I'm going to work on these courses. Time them sort of around when your courses are going to be uploading materials. Plan your study times around that. And stay alert for messages from your courses. Make sure that you're receiving alerts from Kirkus, your mail. You can forward your UofT email to your Gmail or something else if you feel like that's more comfortable for you. Check your email regularly and Piazza for whatever discussion forum the course you use. Make sure you're staying on top of things because you won't be in person to overhear other people saying, hey, did you hear about XYZ, the assignment? There's a clarification. You'll be like, what? Well, stay alert. Setting alarms. With technology, you can harness the power of nagging alerts, calendars to make sure you remember your classes and assignments. When you get your course syllabus, make note of all the important dates, like assignments, tests, etc. If you are like a lot of the people, you may lose track of time when you're concentrating, causing you to miss a class, or worst case, a test or assignment. Make sure you have alerts and make a habit to check your calendar every week and every day to make sure you're on top of things. Make use of the university's online program. Your college will be providing programming as well. So I'm in University College, so I know they have daily like cooking stuff and chats and all that stuff, and there's a lot of virtual programming. Hard House offers online fitness classes on Zoom and writing community art activities. And when the campus is open, there are a lot of gyms, and Hard House hosts a lot of activities as well. And on the Career Learning Center, you can register for Virtual Study Hub, so you're not alone studying. This helps increase your motivation and concentration. Currently, virtual study hubs take place Monday to Sunday from mornings to afternoons, so you can drop in and do that. Also, find the people that are in your course and do video group study sessions, stuff like that. Don't just group call on tests or something. Don't, please. Cheating is bad. So tips. Say you got in courses you like, you plan your timetable, well, hopefully. Now you need to succeed. How do you learn the content well and get decent grades? Well, here's the main things. Number one, attend lectures or watch your lectures. Lectures are the main way you're taught the course content. You shouldn't be afraid to ask questions during the lecture or even before or after the lecture if you don't understand something. If there are multiple lecturers teaching the same course, try to attend one lecture each lecturer. Find whose style resonates with you best and fits your schedule. However, you should read the syllabus carefully to see if the course is designed in a way that auditing different lecture sections don't negatively impact your grade. Some courses have lecture-specific midterms, participation marks that you only learn in your own special lecture section. Attending tutorials. As a former first-year TA myself, I truly believe that tutorials is the best way to check what you're doing. I remember I TA'd for 148 for 2 years in my second, third year. And I had students that would just come in and just don't bother to sit there and then leave. And then I had some students that were really making use of me and the time and asking questions, getting feedback, and know that TAs are your best way to get one-on-one contact. Small groups, you they're paid. They're paid to be with you, to teach you, and they're picked for that. They also give great advice. Myself. Office hours. So office may sound daunting, like going up to a professor's office somehow 5 floors up, but they're not. Most, if not all, professors are great people. They love it when students come to office hours with good questions, and concerns. And if they're not too busy, you can ask them questions about their research or general CS questions. So the thing is like, if they're not too busy, you can ask them questions about their research or general CS questions. They're some of the most experienced in the field, and this is a great opportunity to develop a great professor-student relationship, which can help you later on, reference grad school, research opportunities, etc., as well as the Help Center. It's a great place to ask for TAs and profs questions that you might have about the course content and assignments. As I said earlier, make sure You don't go right near the deadline. It gets very crowded. Procrastination at its finest. However, it's still a great way to get help. Piazza is an excellent resource if you need any questions answered. Again, don't do it last minute. And when it comes to assignments, don't start the day before. This only makes you stressed. It gives you no time to ask questions if you get stuck. Start early, make a list of questions to ask. Go to office hours to get these questions cleared up, and golden rule, don't copy off of other students. Plagiarism is bad. It's serious business. We link to the Ontario Students, not Ontario Students, the Office of Student Academic Integrity, which talks about academic misconduct, and it's serious. The department has very high typicals to catch you, and they will. It's never worth it. If something comes up and you need help, talk to your prof. They'll try their very best to help you and accommodate you. It's never worth cheating. And especially with online learning, it's like people are going to be much more strict about it. It's serious things. People have gotten zeros, failed courses, even at worst case, even been kicked out of university for plagiarizing. It's serious matter. Also, another serious thing is that you make sure your code runs on lab computers. It sounds crazy. I've done first year courses. People have submitted assignments that don't compile, and it's Python. It's going to compile because of the following two things: they didn't submit the right file, it had an error, or their computer inputted random non-ASCII character and the lab computers couldn't parse it, resulting in a zero because it didn't run. Believe me, if it runs on your computer, that's not enough. It must run in the lab machines. They're Linux. If you wrote your code on a Mac, Windows machine, or even a Linux machine with different configurations, your code may depend on libraries or an encoding that the THCS machines don't have and won't run. The thing is, these random non-ASCII characters, not to be stereotypical, but these normally come from other language keyboards inputting alternate language characters, such as calligraphy, Chinese, other characters as well, Indian language characters as well. Even French accent characters are sometimes don't really sit well. So make sure your keyboard settings are clear it up. Make sure they're all ASCII characters. Even if it's in a comment, it causes it not to parse, and it gets very, very crazy at times. I've seen weird things. How do you prevent this? Simple. Submit early, download your code off of Marcus to a lab computer, and run it. If it runs to the lab, it runs well graded. Or commit to via SSH and run it remotely on remote lab computers, the same thing. Even if it runs on your computer, it's not a valid reason for it to run properly while grading. It must work on the lab computers as well. Check your language settings, non-English characters are known to mess it up. Render it unreadable, runnable is weird. Rather safe than sorry. The more to keep in mind is the ethics of copyright and code sharing. Most students will think, okay, hey, I completed my assignment. I should post that GitHub. Put it on my portfolio. That may not be a great idea. These assignments have a lot of starter code prepared by professors, and sometimes profs like to reuse these assignments. You should always ask for permission from your professors before posting your assignments on public platforms like GitHub. Otherwise, you might be held accountable for plagiarism. Even if you did not commit it yourself, as a student taking the same course in later years or even in the same semester, might find your assignment and copy it. So, the big CS elephant in the room: admission to the program. Declaring your major, minor, or specialist in CS in second year. So in St. George, the Faculty of Arts and Science has this policy. It encourages exploration in different fields, making it easy for students to switch major and subjects after their first year. So technically, you're not really a CS student, you're in a CS stream. The issue with CS admission is that there's not enough resources or space to get every student who wants to choose CS after their first year spot. So the department has instituted cutoff average as a requirement for students getting the program. As of this year, brand new, 2 sets of requirements, if you're in stream or not. In stream meaning you've been admitted to the computer science stream from high school. This is brand new and represents a significant change from the years prior. I sit down with undergrad chair Michelle Gray to talk about those new changes in Room 2250 episode, first of season 3, and it's linked in the guide as well. So if you're in stream, you get what I would say is one of the best deals of getting into the program that stream students have had basically for the last 5-6 years. As quoted from the outside calendar, if you complete at least 4 full credit equivalents and complete the following courses with the minimum grade, CSE 110 with a 70% and CSE 111 with a 77, and pass either 137 or 157, you are in the program. This is a significant change because in prior years there was a variable cutoff. You didn't know what the cutoff was. It was normally the top X students in stream and out of stream that get it. Nobody knew. Competition was rampant. Stress was at a all-time high. And this program change really makes sure that people focus on the courses itself and not on the competition and the grades and doing better than everyone else. You're just competing with yourself. You're putting yourself to do the best you can and making sure you get above that minimum grade. And if you're not meeting that minimum grade, you have to work towards it, think about it, or think on seeing whether CS is really right for you. These are foundations. These are an important base. If you don't find their content to be conceptually appealing, it's pretty likely you're not going to enjoy upper your CS courses at UT as well. These requirements aren't there to cut down the number of people for in-stream students. The department itself says they anticipate the vast majority of students will meet these requirements and will be admitted to the specials major or minor, whatever they choose. If every student meets the guarantee, every student will be admitted. There's no reason to be scared you won't meet these requirements. Instructors are not here to weed you out. They're not going to artificially decrease grades or anything. They're instead to make sure you're prepared and understand the content. If you are out of stream, you get a little bit less of a good deal. Students, if you're out of stream, you must complete a supplementary application to be considered for the program. And as well, with a minimum grade, which it is variable minimum grade. So basically, after in-stream has been determined, the remaining spots, which is at least half of the spots, or it's a little bit less than that, they will take the top X students from out of stream, slot them in with the remaining spaces, and that's the grade. As well, completing the supplementary. Of course, if you get below a 70, you will not be considered for admission at all. And due to the limited enrollment nature, enrollment backups, and if you're admitted after your second or third year, you must pay retroactive deregulated program fees, which we'll talk about later, which are not fun. So after reading this, out-of-stream students will now be asking me, well, what's the cutoff? Well, we don't know an answer. Cutoff's not an arbitrary number, 60, 75, or 70 and 77. In reality, it's the top X number of student averages that apply to the program out of stream, where X is the number of spots in the program in that year after in-streams have been admitted. In 2018, the specialist major cutoff was around 83 for in-stream, 86 for out-of-stream. We've moved now to both of them together being around an 83-ish. For the CS minor, the cutoff was an 80 for both in-stream and out-of-stream. I have not heard of that being changed, so this may go up or down in upcoming years depending on future circumstances. It's hard. It's possible? Nah. Is it doable? Yes, if you put in work, effort into the required courses. Of course, the number of program stages have remained relatively constant, basically increasing year after year. And there are more program spaces available than the number of first-year CS admitted students. From what we got from Professor Craig, it was around 250 to 300 students that were being admitted. There are 550 spots. Even if every student was admitted, there are still about a little less than a half of the spots still remaining. These two courses, again, are an important base. If you don't find their content to be appealing, it's possible you may not enjoy your courses. And keep your options open. As mentioned, take some breadth courses. Maybe you'll enjoy them. You'll want to pursue them further. The great thing about that is that UofT has a plethora of awesome programs you can choose from. People now ask what's supplementary, and basically it's just a way for the department to get to know you. They ask about your experience, who you are, character traits, all that. They do random interviews, so make sure you're truthful. For more information, visit the department's admission page for more details on that. Now, there's also the data science program. This is a recent added specialty that is co-offered by the stats department and the CS department. As quoted from the calendar, the data science specialist program prepares students for work in the data science industry or government and for graduate studies in data science, computer science, or stats. Students in the program will benefit from a range of advanced courses in CS and stats offered by UofT, as well as 63 integrated courses designed especially for this program. There are specific admission requirements on top of the existing CS requirements of CC 110, 111, 140, 165, Math 137, 157, Stats 130. You must take Stats 130 if you want to get into data science. And note, to ensure that students' mini program will be successful, you must have at least a 70 in Math 137, along with your CS courses, and in Stats 130. And you must have at least 77% in CC 111. 157 grades are adjusted. Obtaining these minimum grades, of course, does not guarantee admission. If you are an in-stream student, you get a special bonus just for you. 20 spots in the data science program will be reserved for in-stream CS first years who complete these requirements. AKA, think about it. Basically, in-stream first years, the top 20 will be automatically admitted to specialists. The rest are put in the pool with everyone else, and then from there, the grades will be put in order again, and then put in for the rest of the slots, like non-stream CS. And given an order, as well as the supplemental application that must be completed with out-of-stream students. And at program enrollment time, you can apply for multiple specialist majors and minors. Depending on which ones you get, you can choose a set you want to continue with. Backups are important. And you don't have to be in the CS program to pursue a CS job. There are a lot of people that do math or stats or something and then go on to do programming and all that stuff. Getting into the field is not just you have to be in the program or anything like that. If it's something that works for you and pick whatever you think you will do best in. And journeys always take twists and turns, ups and downs. Find something that speaks to you. And maybe it may not be CS to start off with. It might be math. It might be stats. It might be something totally different. You'll find a new love. But I'll get into a little bit more of that later. So this next section is really important. Mental health. A lot of the original version of this guide was originally to help talk about mental health as well, especially with CS students with first years. It's important. And well, with the new in-stream requirements, it's made it much less stressful, but university is still stressful. It's a giant leap from high school. This section was originally written by Clara, which was the first year back when we wrote the original first year guide. And I've kept it basically very much the same. This first paragraph is directly from that. Mental health is extremely important. Taking care of yourself should be your first priority. A lot of students find program admission to be extremely stressful. University in general is a giant leap from high school. Taking a reduced course load or dropping down from hard courses to easier exclusions isn't something to be ashamed of. You should definitely do it if you feel like it will benefit your mental health. In the same note, Accessibility services is something you should check out if you're having mental or physical health related problems that are getting in the way of your studies. They provide amazing support for those who are registered with it. You can get exam accommodations, assignment extensions, peer note takers, among many other benefits. And you can also get your own advisor whom you can go to if you have problems coping with various aspects of the university. They'll direct you to many resources and help you out the best they can. Accessibility Service, I've linked their website, and the Health and Wellness Center has medical and mental health services to help students academically and personally if you need them. Make sure to make the most of these services which you have access to. You're paying for them, they're here to serve you, and the UofT Reddit has a post pinned for a set of mental health and wellness resources as well. The following is something I've added, and to be honest, I one, believe in it. Two, I really love Star Wars Rebels. So I was thinking, okay, hey, how best can I integrate them into this guy with a GIF? And then this made me think and really put me in to say, you know what, I'm going to talk about it. Because sometimes I believe when things get tough, I believe in hope. Things don't work out exactly as we expect. Things go wrong, bad things happen, but never give up on hope. Hope that things will be better someday. Keep being true to yourself. Work towards your goals and don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on others either. We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will. And for those of you who haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, this is, I believe, from season 1 earlier. Hera and Ezra Bridger leads the show, and of course, I've really enjoyed the show. Got me really into my love of Star Wars as well. And I really love animated shows as well. So if you haven't watched it, it's all available on Disney Plus, 4 seasons, and some of the best animated performances I have ever seen. Season 3, Trials of the Darksaber, Tyra Sakari's performance as Sabine is one of the most emotional performances I've seen in animation, and made me a fan of Dave Filoni for life. So back to actual more things. Serious is another thing I would mention is that collaboration and teamwork can help a lot when it comes to deal with the pressure of assignments and midterms. Yeah, acceptance in the CS program is competitive, but helping each other out and learning from one another, it makes a long way. Make friends. Everyone's scared, everyone's stressed out. They just want to do well. Helping each other out and being kind to one another. You can't just go solo in all your classes. You're surrounded by some of the best students in your year, some of the brightest students. Take advantage of that. University is a lot less stressful if you have like-minded friends to help you along the way. And of course, I love Pokemon too. Pikachu and Eevee, friendship gift. Yeah, I've actually watched a lot of Pokemon the series. I just watched Journeys as well, which is surprisingly really good as well. So I'm always Team Pikachu though. I'm sorry, Eevee. She's cute too. And this next section is something that I personally read up, and with a lot of the things that have happened in the past few weeks and months in 2020, especially with in the video game community, in our real lives and stuff with racism and a lot of shit that's happened, it got me thinking, and I was like, you know what? And we need to talk about it. And I call this finding your community. I have that thread going throughout the entire podcast series where we say about finding community, but I think it's important to talk about it. The University of Toronto has a diverse campus. Students come from all around the world, all different types of walks of life, every type of social status, political status, all sorts of things. People are unique and they share different beliefs and values. There's a community for everyone, no matter your race, your sexuality, your religion. You should feel like you belong. This type of thing is a two-way street. You must treat people with respect, accept opposing views, show compassion and kindness. The actions you take make our community more inclusive and more diverse. Whether that's being the CS community, the UofT community, Toronto community, Canadian community, or the worldwide community. Being good to each other comes with action. That means not attacking each other in comments, Piazza posts, Reddit, when you disagree or you're angry. That means not harassing women, or anyone for that matter, in our community. And that means calling out others when you do see this kind of bad behavior and course correcting. We need to work together and listen to each other. To listen, empathize, and act. Unfortunately, racism, prejudice exist, even in an academic institution like UofT. I hope that people that are listening to this, watching this, reading the guide, think about these words and their actions. If you feel like you don't belong, there are groups out there, community, and good people on campus that can help you. Never lose faith in humanity. And there's just one other gift that I want to do, and then I'll talk about this more. But this is Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me on his appearance on Kind of Funny Games Jelly. And this was during the Black Lives Matter movement this year in 2020, and over the killing of George Floyd. And I think he puts it out there, puts a statement out that I think really, really touches that. People are mean and people suck, but people are also fantastic and great. That's the thing. There are bad people out there. They're everywhere, but there's also good people out there. There's a lot of people that are willing to support you. And the thing is that we always say it's like you don't have to be part of the CS community. A lot of people identify with a community that they feel passionate about, whether there's a CS community, there's the UofT community in large, but there's also the UofT community has a lot of sub communities in it. Whether that's your college, some people are affiliated with their college a lot. Some people are affiliated with their sports, the sports teams, varsity, and a lot of times it's the club that they're really interested in or passionate about, work on it. And I mentioned about like I've heard stories, and like even in the CSSU there are people, you know what, it's people say things and it's wrong, and sometimes they don't mean it, sometimes they just say it, but sometimes it's an internal bias, internal fear. And I think we need to start accepting people. And like CS in general, I'm gonna say it out right here, is that women get a bad rep. They like I know a lot of great women in CS. Like a lot of the people I know that are women in CS work tirelessly and they achieve great things. Not because they're women, but because they're passionate about the field. They're passionate about the subject and they're passionate about what they do. And it doesn't matter whether you're man, woman, bigender, any other sexual orientation. You should feel belonged. And we see it like there's the reputation there's not a lot of women in CS. That's true. But that means that we should be showing the women that have the guts to show up, treat them with the respect that they deserve. Like I've seen it where people are acting disgusting towards women in the program, making them feel like they're second rate, and that's not right. And for any woman that's listening to this, you should make sure that you know that you have as much right as anyone else to study CS. Don't let anyone put you down, say that you're different, that you're not worthy of studying CS, not worthy of being a programmer, not worried about being a gamer, because they're wrong. If you're passionate about it, you should be able to do it. You should have the respect given to you that you deserve. And this applies to everyone, not just women, but I want to say it specifically for them. Because I've seen it. I've seen it. That in CS, it's there are online comments and online posts and stereotypes that there's not a lot of CS women. Well, if we can treat the women that actually come in fairly and justly, make them feel like they belong, well then maybe more will come. More will actually be in the program. And we shouldn't be judging people based on what gender they are, what their social status is. That's not right. We should be judging people on their talent, on their skill, on their drive, on their effort. That's why I want to put a pin on that. But I want to make sure that everyone knows it's like, find the community that speaks to you. We have communities for everyone. Video games, women in CS, we have the National Black Society of Engineers. We have different religious groups on campus. We have everything. There's a group there, there's a community here for you. And I hope that everyone can be part of that CS community, or at least feel it. But if not, that's okay. Maybe put an effort, but find something that speaks to you. University should be the best years of your life. Make sure you enjoy it. Alright. Maybe I should have kept that section last. But oh well. Speaking of community and involvement, how to get involved. School life balance is important, especially when you're in university. There may be intense pressure from academics. Make sure to give time to yourself. You can check out a huge list of clubs and student groups that you can join through ULive. Visit the clubs for during the first week of classes if it's still running. There'll also be something virtual, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. And for more CS related clubs, do check out our list of CS clubs, which we will be updating hopefully eventually. Currently that link is down, so maybe I'll link to the GitHub version of that, but we'll see. And I had two clubs come on Room 2250 earlier this year to talk about their clubs and their experiences and their communities. So we have Women in CS and the UTCG, which is the University of Toronto Computer Graphics Club. And you might also want to consider joining FSC, First Year Learning Community. Basically, you get a group of other students who are taking the same CS courses you are, and you get up with your mentor along with department mentors who will help guide you through your courses, uni, and life in general. It helps make some friends, be in the know, get some real mentorship, especially in this COVID-19 time where you may not be able to get as much face-to-face with other people. Being part of an FFLC maybe will help you find some friends and fellow classmates. More info and apply at this link. And hey, do take a look at applying to be a first year rep here at the CSSU. You'll be responsible for setting your interests and issues to the CSSU, spread information updates to your classmates. You can also be a general council member. Check out the CSSU page for more details on when to apply. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of events happen across campus. You can go on Facebook, Instagram, probably Snapchat. CSU doesn't have Snapchat, but whatever. And there's also hackathons. So for those of you who don't know what a hackathon is, basically a 1 to 3 day event where you and your team get together to build something like an app, which solves an app or a web application or whatever you want that solves a real world problem, or just something that's really cool. And you win prizes and learn new technologies and get free food. Now the thing is, hackathons are something that's unlike anything in any other field. Like other fields, I don't, I'm not gonna speak for them, but I'm gonna say it on personal whim. CS has some of the best prizes, swag, and free food. If you go to a hackathon, if you go to a top tier hackathon, you are not just getting pizza. You are getting like the mac and cheese, burgers, really cool stuff, and like unlimited chips and candy supplies for the rest of your life and Coke. Also, prizes are huge. Winners, like when I was working on sponsorship with UofT Hacks back a few years ago, we had Google give away Pixel phones for the entire team. On top, there were Switches for everybody. Switches are popular, supposedly. Oh, actually, no. Switches are fantastic. Nintendo Switch is fantastic. If you don't have a Switch, there are some great games on it. Well, pick a video game console that you like, but Nintendo Switch, great. Have Smash. I use Ring Fit now. I just bought Ring Fit. It's great. Give me exercise during quarantine. But anyway, that's enough about me and my Switch. Marvel Ultimate Online, it's a great game. Anyway, learning new technologies, like there are a lot of workshops that happen at these events, and companies are there to show you new technologies that they're using, and maybe even job opportunities. And free food, of course, free food. There are a lot of hackathons. MLH is the organization, Major League Hacking, that sort of oversees a lot of the major hackathons. So you can see a full list of hackathons from Canada and around the world. A lot of the US ones are popular, and if you're comfortable going to the States and you have the right documentation for a weekend, it's a great opportunity. A lot of bigger hackathons even have the sponsorship money to give free transportation down, mostly by bus. So it's and normally these events are always like free 95% of the time. And you get an opportunity to meet students from around the globe. UofT Hacks, of course, is our premier hackathon hosted on campus. So be on the lookout for more details later this year, depending on public health guidance. And remember, you don't have to be experienced to go to a hackathon. A lot of workshops are offered throughout the events, and you can always go for the experience, which is pretty awesome. And of course, there's one more GIF here from Gary with on Kind of Funny Games Day. Like, yes, it's like now the fourth Kind of Funny GIF that we've had here, but this is actually a really good tip and a really good mantra to live by. Actually, Gary is the writer of Rogue One, a bunch of Star Wars books, and Book of Eli. If you watch that movie, and if you're not making moves, you're standing still, which applies to anything, whether it's academics, clubs, or even just your personal growth. It's like if you're not making moves, you're not going to hackathons, you're not going to clubs, you're not extending yourself, you're standing still in terms of your social lives. You're standing still in terms of growth. So keep making moves. Join a hackathon. Go join a club. Attend an event. Keep moving. And speaking of jobs, internships, and PY co-op. You know what? They should just kept just PY, but then again, co-op definition. So everyone wants to get experience in the real world and make those big CS dollars. CS dollars are actually big. Uni's expensive. Living in Toronto is expensive. So a job that relates to your studies pretty much checks off all the boxes. There are a wide range of job opportunities which you can consider. As a first year student, definitely look at some of the major company internships that are dedicated to first and second year students. Google's Engineering Practicum, Microsoft Explore are two of the bigger programs. Startups are a great way to get in the door, get some experience. Do your due diligence. Unpaid internships are very uncommon in CS. So make sure you know what you're getting into before committing. Like most students, internship pay is pretty dang good. Like you're looking at more than minimum wage for sure, at least $20 an hour. But for good interview questions prep, Cracking the Coding Interview is one of the best books out there. Very informative, has a lot of great problems in it. And the CSSU made another GitHub repo with job resources and tips linked there. And of course, if industry is not your cup of tea, that's totally fine. There are a lot of research opportunities for a student if you're persistent enough to pursue them. After your first year, there are second-year research programs run by the Faculty of Arts and Science, where you can get real-world, real research experience and course credit, either in the summer after your first year or during your second year. There are a lot of open source projects that you can contribute to, both at UofT, PyTA, and Marcus, and outside of the university as well. Google Summer of Code is a great place as well, and Google pays students during the summer to work with them on those open source projects. And if you want to learn more about undergrad research, I have an episode talking about research with Professor Jacobson, which shows how you can work towards getting research, doing research in third and fourth years as well. And of course, there's the PEY program, Professional Experience Year Co-op program, administered by the Engineering Career Center, as another option that you consider after your second year or after your third year. Basically, a 12 to 16 month paid internship at a company that you have to apply to an interview for, will just be given to you. And you can get some experience and some pretty good money before you complete your studies. Normally, the average is around $55,000, $60,000. So that's a year, and you're working for 16 months. For a year to 16 months, that's basically your entire tuition if you're going for domestic tuition. For international, it's about maybe 2 years less. If for more information about PY Co-op or CS, there's a department page and the Engineering Career Center site, which is more important for more information and statistics. I've also included a bunch of links. The department's discourse page, the podcast, Art Science Guide to First Year, Services and Resources, the Reddit, Career Questions Reddit, CSU newsletter, read the department emails. And something about Reddit that I do want to say. Reddit, I love you, but on Reddit, the most vocal accounts tend to be students who are misinformed. There are a lot of great information, a lot of great discussion that happens on the Reddit. But just know how to filter through misinformed comments, avoid the trolls, make sure you're well informed. If you're reading something, try to make sure that it's properly sourced or correct. And last thing I want to talk about is finances. Of course, the great, I think it's from the Jetsons, maybe. I should know where this is from. But sort of puts CSU regulated fees in perspective for you. The dollar bill is your regular tuition that you think, 7K, and then the wallet is basically the 14K tuition that you'll have to pay as a CS student starting your second year. So CS is actually a deregulated fee program. It's more expensive than your regulated tuition. Since you're not considered a CS student in your first year, you don't have to pay deregulated fees. Instead, you're paying regular arts and science fees. To be honest, I don't know how the university manages to get away with this, but hey, they got away with it. Please keep doing it. It saves money for first years. However, once you're accepted in the program, you will face the brunt of CS and deregulated fees. Starting from the summer after your first year, year fees are about double. And no, this is starting from the summer after your first year. You will get your program acceptance in July, most likely officially, or early June. If you take summer courses, you will be originally charged regular arts rate, and then when you get your program acceptance, those fees will go up. They will charge you extra on top of that. So it's always a shock for everyone who gets hit by it, but sadly, keep it in mind if you're taking some classes after your first year and you're doing CS. They're double the regular tuition fees. These deregulated fees aren't because UofT wants to take all your money. That's the 5% increase that's the increase that they want to do every year. But rather, the Ontario government believes that you can get a job out of undergrad. You're in high demand. You can pay your student loans faster, so you can afford higher tuition fees, like engineering and business students. Whether that's true or not, that depends on your point of view. This decision was made in 1998, the height of the dot-com era, for thinking of how is CS? Okay, yeah, well, most of it's true, sort of. Does it mean that they should still be charging a double rate? Nah, I don't think so, but that's the law. and nobody plans to change it from 1998.com. However, you can still get loans. OSAP, which is open to Ontario residents who are Canadian citizens or permanent residents. And of course, you can apply for it, finance with the financial calculator on the OSAP site. And the good news is, as CS students, so the thing is, I know a couple of students who are from low income households. You should not feel that if you're from a low income situation that you cannot afford to go to university in CS. Don't believe that at all. Because I know most of them that with proper financial planning, most of them are graduating debt free. Or they only get to have to pay living expenses and stuff like that. Like it's pretty stable. And I'll tell you why. Because so OSAP, there are a lot of government grants for low income persons. The thing is, that will not cover your entire tuition. There's this magical thing called UTAPs, the University of Toronto Financial Aid Program. It's the University of Toronto Advanced Planning Stipend or something like that. Actually, what is UTAPs? Like I knew what this meant, and then I totally forgot what it just meant. University of Toronto Financial Aid. So the thing is, they just call it UTAPs. University of Toronto Financial Aid. Anyway, so the thing is that the great thing about this program is after your first year, you do not have to do anything. Based on your OSAP data, include your family income and other things if you're from another province, country, check the UTAP site that I just pulled up to fill out their estimator. But if your OSAP data is low enough, so if you have low enough family income and your grants and your loans don't cover your tuition, you get extra money. This is free grant money from the University of Toronto paid towards your tuition. And if you've already paid off your tuition, that money comes back straight to you. However, there's a catch with this. You do not know this amount till late September, early October. Though this money is pretty substantial. I've seen 4, 5, 6K, $7,000 per semester as part of this UTAP program. So the thing is like I've seen students who have like basically almost had their entire tuition basically paid off. It's just living expenses and more, and their loans. So the thing is, it's like don't discount UTAPs because, and if you're of course entering for your first time, complete and submit the estimate. Now they say by February 28th. To be honest, as a first year, especially with regulated fees, you most likely qualify for UTAPs unless you're in special circumstances like you're living off campus or something like that. Still, just fill it out. We'll see what it is. Also, out of province UTAS applications, you have to fill out another form as well. So it's a great program. I hope this program actually stays for a long time because it is extremely helpful. It always feels magical when you're just like lying into Econ one day and you're like, oh wait, I'm getting a magical $8,000. What? Dang it. I love it. And as you paid off your tuition. So it's just like, oh, my bank account's about to get very full. Anyway, you know what? There's one last thing also. There are scholarships as well. So on top of all of this, there are scholarships. Check out if you qualify them. Google has a bunch of scholarships. The undergrad office has information on CS related scholarships. There's also University of Toronto site, art site, and of course check out your college registrar for more financial aid options, such as bursaries and other scholarships that your college will give. It's always great. They're also great at doing financial planning as well. So if you need help managing your money, your college registrar is a great place to help. So the thing is, that's it. You made it to the end. If you've listened to this in one go, great. Congrats. Thanks. If not, well, okay. No, I'm not giving you a summary at the end of this one. Why? If you do that for a guide, I get it, but why would you do that for an audio version? This is an audiobook, basically. Of course, every GIF I've taken from the Tenor or Giphy, Corey Cadney, great GIFs as always, for kind of funny. But this is one GIF that I made myself, which using a meme generator, and I'm like, oh, I have to do this. So, of course, the Drake, nah, and yeah. The not reading the guide and asking questions that people have already answered, nah. Reading the guide, searching, and then asking questions not been answered, yes. So, I'd like to thank all the people who helped contribute to this guide, making this a possibility. Clara, my original co-writer, the 2020 version, Lana's been doing support as well, Chloe Nguyen, CSU treasurer, Alex, CSU president, the rest of the team as well. And I hope this guide is informative. And if you think that your peers will benefit from you or friends or anything like that, hey, feel free to share it. Information like this is meant to be shared. I made this guide specifically so that I could share the information that I've learned and others have learned throughout the years in one place. So, I'd love this to be viral and have every student read this before coming into first year. And I can't do that alone. So, if you enjoy it, hey, share it with people, share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions or comments, email the CSSU, make a pull request, put an issue in GitHub, fill out the feedback form. I read that feedback. If you really want to, put in that feedback and send it my way, and I'd be glad to read it. Even if you just really enjoyed it, and you just want to write a good comment, please do. I'll take anything. Even if it's constructive criticism, I'll take it. I wish you all the best for your first year. I hope you make the most of your time here at UofT. And maybe I'll see you for CS Rush later this year. And this is my episode room 2250. Well, not an episode room 2250. This is the first year guide audio commentary version. This is Nugent signing off. Thank you. Have a great day.